or, you know, when I was 16 being groomed, all of that stuff. Because they're completely understandable based on what I said, to have that strong of a reaction to it. And I'm aware that I said
Wait! What was that? What the f was that angle change? Rose Mulet has released a video called Taking Accountability. So I'm wondering if this is going to be in regards to some of the recent drama that we've seen with Brad Taste in music. Obviously was friends with Brad Taste in music. I think Brad Taste snaked Rose Mulet, to be perfectly honest, because Brad was very supportive of Rose and then wasn't supportive. So I wonder if this is kind of addressing that and facing up to the old crazy things that they said. Let's find out. Let's have a look. Let's find out.
So I've been thinking about this a lot recently, and I've noticed something within myself is that it's very hard for me to acknowledge when I'm wrong in certain situations. And I think a lot of the reason why that is because there are moments in my life where I genuinely have been wronged. For instance, people being transphobic to me, or, you know, when I was 16 being groomed, all of that stuff. Because those events have happened to me, it's kind of made me feel that anytime I'm being attacked, it's not fair. I'm being targeted, etc. But what I've come to realize is that regardless of who said the things that I said, people would be mad at anybody for that.
Will Chud be fair? Well, my take on Rose Mulet, and there's an old video where I speak to them about them pretending to top themselves or some stupid thing. They are obviously an attention hungry retard. That is undeniable, right? And I think that some of the stuff that they said, people will interpret in like the most extreme way just to kind of shit on them, which I understand. But I don't think that the things that they've said are a product of them being like a, you know, really horrendous person. It's more so they just want attention. So they say wacky, insane, crazy shit. And then obviously you get a tweet that and it looks terrible. You're like, what is this? This sounds absurd and ridiculous and insane. The grape stuff I'm thinking of, that sort of thing. So for me, in terms of taking accountability, yeah, you said a bunch of insane shit for attention. That's the thing, really. Like, I don't know. It's just people. It's like this person is fucking insane and they said crazy stuff. But that's it. That's the long and the short of it. That's my kind of perspective. So I guess we'll see what they say about it. But
So it's wrong for me to just play the victim, because I have a massive victim complex. And, you know, it's interesting because at the start of all this,
Rose has said really fucked up shit. She can't just go back on that. Okay, this is the thing. You say go back on it. What does that mean? What does that look like? Go back on it. I'm just like, okay, what does that mean? Yeah, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. The statements are out there. If you want to judge Rose Mulet very harshly and think the worst, then that's of course fine. That's your prerogative. You know. I'm just saying that from my perspective, this is a product of retarded edgelord attention seeking. You know? And it's like the grape thing. People talk about the grape thing a lot. I totally get that, right? But if anything, it would be Rose that would... Because Rose basically had this take that if someone is getting graped, it's wrong to use lethal force to defend yourself, okay? Obviously an utterly insane, retarded take. But then there's other stuff that came out, and Rose Mulet was talking about having a grape fantasy. And it's like, well... You know, I know that it's a fucking insanely retarded strong take. But if anyone wants to be like, it's you know what I'm trying to say, right? Like, clearly they've got some fucked up shit going on up there, which probably led to this stuff, rather than it being they think that grape victims should be just graped without question, or you know, they should just be allowed to be great. I just don't seem like I'm sweeping for Rose, because I'm not. I'm not sweeping for Rose. Rose is an insane bitch. Okay, it's just I'm like, what can you do? Rose has said this crazy stuff. They're desperate for attention. They're desperate for internet fame. They said a bunch of crazy stuff pursuing that. It's all gone wrong. I guess log off. Maybe log off is the best option for Rose.
I just had this perspective that why even make an apology? It's not even worth bothering trying. And the reason I say this is because about 3 years ago, I posted a video on my channel, basically addressing a bunch of screenshots. And at the time, it was genuine. People were receptive to it. But the problem is that, you know, over these past few years, it just kept coming up. The same tweets would come up again and again. And it just felt unfair because to me, that's such a distant time in my life. Wonderful. But I also recognize that for a lot of you, this is the first time you're being exposed to it. So it's going to...
Thank you, Minister Hours, for the Prime sub. Appreciate that. Chud, you're too... Okay. Occam's cock comes. Occam's cock comes is one of the most valued Chud chatters going. I'm sure Bill Cosby feels the same. Well, that's the point, isn't it? I guess this is the thing I'd ask. What has Rose done? Like, when it comes to people, like, for example, Ava Chris Tyson. Why is Ava Chris Tyson condemnable to a high degree? Well, it's because of interactions that they've engaged in, right? And they've engaged in inappropriate interaction with minors in the Discord, and we all know the Ava Chris Tyson stuff. There's actions there that I think are condemnable, and that is going to have a long-lasting effect and an impact on the situation. Whereas with Rose Mulet, it's like, well, what has Rose done? Faked their own death, had an utterly absurd, insane, retarded perspective on what grape victims should and shouldn't do in the course of defending themselves against a grape. You know, been desperate for internet fame and has pursued any avenue they can, like a hungry wretch, desperately trying to find an angle with which to become famous online. Do you see what I'm getting at? It's like all the things that I'm thinking of are things that have been said, or things that, you know, like that aren't, that are, in the grand scheme of things, are fairly, like, for example, the suicide thing. Yeah, that was an insane thing to do, but I don't know. I just find it difficult to find a reason to think, well, Rose Mulet, I'm going to be very, you know, bothered by Rose Mulet until the end of time now, because there's not really much there once you unpack what the actual claims against Rose are, you know?
Completely understandable based on what I said, to have that strong of a reaction to it. And I'm aware that I said horrible.
Wait! What was that? What the fuck was that angle change? Also, why is Rose in some fucking hotel room? What is going on here?
Horrible things as recent as just a few months ago. So the excuse that I would tell myself that, oh, I already made a video about this, that was wrong. I completely messed up. Like, if I would have just made a video like this at the very start, I think things would be a lot better. I basically instead blamed everybody else for everything. I just...
Rose Mulet is a degenerate freak. Sure. But then, okay, this is like the commentary thing again, where there's a figure who is hated. And it's like, sure, that's true, they're a degenerate freak. But beyond the things they've said that are insane, or like they're pretending to top themselves shit, it's like, what more is there that you can say or do about this person? Like, you know, they're not going to be like a part of my stream. I'm not looking to be friends with this person. It's just, what more can you say about them? What more can you do about them? Like, I don't think that I'm concerned about this person being a threat or a risk to someone like I would do with, say, Ava Chris Tyson or something like that, you know?
Was not in a good emotional state. And now that I've been offline for a bit, I think I can look at this more objectively. I want to talk about the tweets. I'm currently in a hotel room, so unfortunately I can't like put anything on screen.
I just got here, so I don't know what they did yet, but I hate them and remind people I hate them, so chat hates them too. Yeah, but that's that. Okay, dude. This was like the Nerd City thing earlier, where I was trying to give a nuanced take on Nerd City, and people were like freaking out about it. And I was being completely fair and reasonable and correct in what I was saying. But because there's this negative sentiment about Nerd City, people just, think you're sweeping for them or you're defending them hardcore. When it's like, no, I'm just saying there's points here which I think are reasonable, which you should, take into account. And with Rose, yeah, I just don't know. Like, okay, they're going to put this video out. I'm not going to, they're not going to be like, they're not going to be the new Nicholas Diorio of the Chudlogic stream coming all of the time to fucking talk their shit. I just don't feel any need to be angry forever
wonderful.
at this
But
person
how do I make
or
money
feel a certain way
off
about them.
depressed people?
Chud isn't sweeping, he's trying to pollinate some roses.
Thank you for the $5. Appreciate it. It goes both ways. What's that supposed to mean, dude? Because what bothered me about the bad taste in music stuff is when you put your bias to one side and you look at the situation.
Okay, that's wonderful.
It's very clear that bad taste in music was a total fucking
Why does Nick
snake.
look like Rose? Crying face.
But because people really wanted to hate Rose, they didn't see that part of it, and they, you had to explain to them what had happened. That was how Rose was wronged, even if you don't like Rose. Puddle sucker, thank you for the $5. Why does Nick kind of look like? Okay, dude, that's a bit much.
But I can link them to you in the description if you want. But essentially, I made a bunch of disgusting tweets. I'm not gonna make any excuses for that, but I do think it's important to note that I think abusers are evil, and I don't tolerate that. I was in a weird state of mind. I'm not a perfect person.
Stop picking your... Oh, don't do that!
I still say things that I
Oh.
shouldn't, and it's a lot more recent than I would like to admit. For instance, talking about like my debate.
People fucked me over once 5 years ago, and I hold that grudge forever. It's my least toxic trait. Okay. Well, I'm not saying that you have to do anything. It's just sometimes people. All I'm saying is people should come to this with a fair perspective. You should be fair. Just be fair in all situations.
It's with Destiny. Basically, the Hunter Avalon debate is another one that people bring up a lot. Basically, my idea was that I don't think that it's okay to like wish harm on anybody. But I said it in the worst possible way.
But how do I make
And
money
I don't know if it's
off
because I
depressed
wanted
people?
attention or what was up with that.
Second, he has far bigger natural breasts.
Thank you for the 333. Well, this is the problem. Is I'm waiting for a jet of pus to squirt out and hit the camera. Why did you say that, dude? That's so gross. I hope she goes away. Yes. Okay. I agree that, Rose should give up this idea of being an online star. It's not going to happen. There's too much stuff there. You've ruined it. There's no way. The only possibility is to become some sort of VTuber and hope people don't remember your voice, okay? But Rose Mulet, as a person, as a character, is too sullied by controversy to make a go of this. Your best bet is to put this video out and then go and find something else to do. Because you're never going to escape that level of extremity of what you've done in the past. The Destiny debate, the Hunter Avalon debate, are making the arguments that you did. That's always going to be used against you. You either need to find a way to just ignore that and put this out and move forward. I think the best thing is just to forget the online thing and just go and try and do something else, because it's gonna chase you and it's gonna follow you forever. Yeah. VTuber or lolcow? Nah, leaning into it doesn't work, unfortunately. If you wanted to lean into takes about grape, you need to look like a Giga Chad and be a man. Well, a regular man, I should say. Yes, yeah, she debated Destiny, and her take was that you are not allowed to. You should not use lethal force against someone who is trying to grape you. It was absurd. and ridiculous. Okay. It's hard to enter season 6 while everyone else was here in season 1, including chat, and they expect you to care about all that stuff you weren't even aware of.
I look back at that and I cringe so hard at myself, and really it was not healthy for me doing all these debates. Like I said, if I could take it all back, there's so much that I would change. Realistically, the best thing that I can do is say sorry, own up to the fact that I did say what I said. If that bothers you and you think that there's no way that you continue to watch my videos, do that. I want to move on. And that's not me ignoring this. I realized that I needed to make a video like this and address this because it was really stupid of me to basically do everything but make this video. I just want to make one thing perfectly clear. I know that I've made it very hard for people to defend me. And the truth is that I'm still making mistakes. And I think that's blatantly apparent to anybody that knows me or is even following this situation. And I think it's important that I just mention this now. I'm somebody who believes in just being open about things. So if anybody just wants to talk to me about anything, if you want me to clarify my positions or what I believe, my Discord is open. Just talk to me. I've had a lot of really terrible beliefs, and the beautiful thing is that we all mature and we all learn as we grow older. We learn about the world.
I've got no interest in talking to Rose. I've got literally less than no interest in that. I've got nothing to say to Rose. I've said everything I wanted to say to Rose in the past couple of months when we spoke over the Brad Taste in Music stuff. Like I say, I'm not interested in making Rose Mulet some sort of chudlogic side character orbiter type person. Yeah, it was so obvious to me that people were prejudging the situation previously. And then when you actually start to think about this person, yeah, they're a total attention-seeking retard. But there's not really much else to say about it,
We learn about different perspectives.
Co-host. Yes. If Nicholas was willing, that is the only thing I might entertain. Is a Nicholas versus Rose Mulet conversation. like the Stephen A. Sarch thing the other day. Oh, Tommy tweeted about that actually. And he called him a funny name. He called him a funny name. What did he call him? Stephen Assrash. Banger. Absolute banger, honestly.
One thing that I do want to say. So obviously the way that I responded was not good. I basically cried, threw a pity party for myself.
The commentary cabal does
Okay,
not
that's
forgive, nor
wonderful.
does it forget.
But
I mean,
how do I
of
make
course, there's like
money
villains,
off depressed
and that's
people?
it. It's over.
Guys, we all know Chud has a love for the gok, the gunning for the gok. Sausage fest galore, but even Chud has a gok weight limit and Rose has tipped the scales.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Rose Mulet doesn't believe in self-defense, but he does believe in self-deletion. For the sake of all people, I hope Rose Mulet does it. Good riddance has nothing to do with Rose Mulet being trans. For the
Okay,
most part.
thank you for that.
I have never been more scared to make a YouTube video than I am right now. Now, back in August, I got...
Oh my god, okay. Yeah, she came for commentary and missed. Yeah, I see what happened there. So made some sort of gay video trying to call out the commentary community for hypocrisy. Okay. And then there was some sort of debate. And probably got blown out, I guess. Okay. I think I can understand how the negative perceptions of this person came about.
Like I said at the start of this video. But I specifically want to talk about the video I made about Brad. First of all, to clarify, the interview that I
Yeah, and then went on to say all the slurs and offend grape on modern day debate. Well, yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is all a product of the attention-seeking behavior, right? At the time saying that because it was believed that would bring attention, and then later on, oh, if I'm edgy and say this about grape, that's going to bring me attention. Yeah, she's an attention-seeking retard. She, will say whatever is necessary in the moment to, benefit the internet career that they dream of. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm just saying that's my belief about this person, right? Now, obviously, if you're if you're in the target of that, it's going to be annoying. But like beyond that, I just don't see, I just don't really care beyond. Listen, it's very simple, okay? Very simple. It's very simple. Rose Mulet will not grape, and will not be a pedo. I would put money on Rose Mulet not being a pedophile.
featured in that video, that was recorded like in December of 2020. And at the time that was recorded,
Clip that.
me and Brad were still not exactly on good terms. My relationship with him has been on and off over the years. And originally I was going to make a video using that many, many years ago. I never did. So when this whole situation occurred, I kind of just dug through that video. I just realized that I was wrong. I really do appreciate more than anything the way that Brad.
If you saw a news story and one of the top players was Will in his channel, how would you approach it? Oh, are you saying that? So Rose Mulet is like your Will in his channel? I would be fair. I mean, obviously, I think Will in his channel is a little wretched freak retard, but I'd be fair and I'd consider all things. I'd look at the situation. Chud about to give his PR answer. That's not the. What do you mean? How is that a PR answer? That's not a PR answer. That is what I do. I've always... Okay, it's a meme. It's become a joke, okay? But I do genuinely try and put my biases to one side if I'm looking at a situation that involves someone that I don't like for some reason, okay? Can you name a time that I have been harsher on someone because I've not liked them, or I've been completely hypocritical in analyzing something or looking at something because I haven't liked the person that I'm talking about? Can you give me an example of that? That's not a PR response. That is just the truth.
Defended me. That was so kind of him to do. And I mean that. I just wish that I could have responded better. Had I did, people wouldn't have come after.
But you did say wretched freak retard. Like I said, Rose was subhuman. You're a bit soft on Westside Tyler. Was I? I've barely spoken about Westside Tyler. I don't know. Wait a second. I don't fucking know Westside Tyler one way or another. How could my bias affect how I dealt with Westside Tyler when I don't even fucking know him? What are you on about? I care if he wants to fucking autistic rocket at fucking what's his face, Gayfesh. I just don't care. Mutahar. I don't think I've done anything to Mutahar that's based on bias one way or another. What was the other example? I can't see any.
After me is hard, people wouldn't have come after him as hard. It's interesting because so often I preach against.
You weren't fair about the Savannah Marie situation. How so? Oh, Mr. T Lexify. Again, that's not someone I really know. I mean, you might disagree with my analysis and perspective. That's fine. But I don't think I was unfair because of bias. Dark Viper. I think there was a story that I covered about Dark Viper where I actually was fair. I remember. Obviously, I don't like him, and often he's retarded. But you know, does anyone remember there was something that happened, and I think it was in regards to some editing thing or something, and I said that he was more in the right, I think.
Against this sort of vindictive justice, and I feel like making that video was me falling into that trap. I was just so angry. I felt like I had been wronged. I felt like I had been betrayed by this person. I literally just impulsively made that video in one night, and I literally messaged Brad, like, right before I posted that video, like, I'm sorry.
You said you sympathize with the girl in the next situation because you have a daughter. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned, I'm pretty sure when I covered that, I think I tried to make it clear that part of my reasoning was because I was somewhat biased because of the daughter thing. Well, I mean, listen, just to be clear, the point I'm making is if I don't like someone and and it's like I know them in some degree and I cover them, I always try and put that to one side as best I can, right? Obviously, I'm not free from bias. I try and say if I've got a bias and how it's affecting the way I'm looking at something, particularly when it comes to stuff with younger kids, you know, and looking at that sort of thing. You know, so I'll accept, yeah, sure. The Mr. T Lexify situation, you know, it could be that me having a daughter really influences and affects how I view it, which means that my coverage, you know, has flaws or holes in it, right? So yeah, I don't know. I mean, sure, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's people who I've been harsher to when I've had personal issues in that drama with them. What? I'm not. No, I'm not watching. What, dude? What is this? What is your problem? Coming into fucking a chat and say watch this other person? Absolutely not. I'm literally never going to watch the person you're saying to watch.
Okay, that's
ever.
wonderful.
I'm never
But
going to watch
how do
them.
I make
Okay?
money off depressed people?
So your little scheme has failed.
This is sweepception.
Yeah, because you know it's like, yeah, I don't know. 3 years down the line with Will. I mean, how long has it been since I last spoke about Will and his channel? I just don't feel anything about Will and his channel anymore. Like, yeah, he's obviously a fucking retard, but if he'd gotten some drama that I mean, I probably wouldn't bother covering it because it's such inconsequential bullshit at this stage. But I like to think I'd you know, be fair. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see.
When it comes to my more recent comments, basically, I've had this perspective that everyone basically sees me as like the worst kind of person ever. So that experience has kind of led me to sympathize with some really bad people. And it made me realize something. Like, okay, there is a massive difference between somebody who actually learns from their mistakes and is genuinely trying to grow and be a better person versus somebody who does bad things, doesn't care that they hurt people, and continues to do bad things. And my mistake is making it seem like I fall into the second group, and making statements that would lead any reasonable person to assume that I fall into the second group. And you can blame that on immaturity. You can blame that on many things. That's my bad. So what I want to make very clear is this, have it be said, because it's taken me a shockingly long time to say this. I think rapists are evil. I think rape is one of...
Dude, come on. That's so funny. I finally found it within me to say, rape is bad, guys. Rape is bad.
Because it's taken me a shockingly long time to say this.
Okay, that's wonderful.
I think...
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Primat became a member.
Thank you, Primat, for the membership.
3 months of membership. Rose has built-in repellent. Enjoy the holiday, Sir Gockness.
Thank you. Thank you for the membership. Here it is again, guys.
Rapists are evil.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you for stating. so clearly, so we know exactly where you stand on the rapist question.
I think rape is one of the worst things a human being can do to another person. To violate somebody's consent, that's disgusting. I think white supremacy is evil, and to judge somebody based purely on the color of their skin is just such a horrible thing to do. I think taking advantage of a helpless animal is evil. It was a poor taste joke that I made 5 years ago. I just want to make it clear, I never believed that. So I just want to make it perfectly clear where I stand on those things so that you don't think you're supporting somebody who says heinous shit. And the last thing that I want to say is that I am so fucking sorry for defending like rapists, abusers, all those kinds of people. The reason that I stood so hard...
Yeah, I just, dude. This feels like a draw a line under it and move forward. I just think, if Rose wants to do this, good luck, Godspeed. I just think that you've really got to then just ignore anyone that tries to bring up your past and not argue with them and talk to them about it. You just got to move forward. That's the only way you can possibly try and move on from your, what is it, bestiality, rape, what other things, comments that you've made in the past. Well, fortunately for Rose, I don't think the P question has been, considered. So
hard to defend those people in the first place was because I'm a strong believer and advocate for the fact that people can change. But now I understand that you have to earn that change. And when, somebody does something as heinous as rape or abuse, it's natural to be disgusted and appalled by that. And it's wrong for me to just immediately be so defensive towards that. And obviously, anybody is going to look at me doing that and see me as defending abuse. In my head, what I believed I was doing was advocating for rehabilitation, but in practice, it was basically advocating for abuse. And I just didn't see that. So...
Do you know what, right? I used to be a big rehabilitation head, and I still am for a lot of crimes. I just think that, there's some people that just, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how you treat them, you can't rehabilitate them. They're too fucked in the head. They're too mangled. Their brain is too mangled. Sucks for them. They've been through the ringer. They've gone through some terrible life that's ended with them graping someone or doing something insane. We just can't have you. We got to put you somewhere. We got to put you somewhere. I'm not saying you need to treat them badly. I'm not saying you need to lock them up in a contraption for the rest of their life. But you just need to keep them segregated from society because the risk is too high. Yeah, sometimes a car's got to be scrapped. Exactly. Depends. No, I don't think that's true. I think there's this... We should strive to try and help as many people out as we can who have committed crime, particularly minor crimes, as in stealing or something, to move forward. But if you go completely insane and you go and kill 20 people in a kids and stuff in a mall with a gun, nah, I think that's a sign of a brain too broken, and we probably can't expect them to come back to the fold of decent humanity, and probably should keep them segregated from society forever. Maybe until they're old enough that they're not going to be any sort of threat because they're too old. But other than that, yeah, I think it's Jova.
Moving forward, I'm actually going to be better. I'm not going to say stupid shit. I'm not going to defend abusers. Hopefully this helps you understand what I actually believe. I think this is something that I needed to do, and I'm so sorry for not doing this much sooner. I think I could have prevented a lot of hurt, and it's taken me way too long to understand the way that my actions hurt other people, and it's not okay. The best thing that I can do is just be the best person that I can be moving forward. And like I said, If you were disgusted by the things that I've said and you don't want to support me anymore, that is your decision. But if you do continue to still support me, I want to make it abundantly clear. I genuinely am going to not say disgusting shit anymore. I genuinely understand why I was wrong. And I want to make you feel good.
I mean, great. Good for you, Rose. Okay. You've now gone back on the crazy stuff you said. Good. But it's done. I don't think from this position you can get enough support to make something of this. It's over. I don't think there's any way forward out of this contraption that you find yourself in. Give her a chance. I mean, listen. I'm not a Rose Mulet content consumer. I'm not going to make any impediment of Rose trying to make content and, whatever. Rose can do and do whatever. I'm just saying that I think it's going to be very difficult to draw a career. I mean, Rose isn't getting many views as it is. The last time the Brad Taste in Music stuff completely failed, like Brad dropped Rose like a hot potato. I just feel like it's done. What is Rose's pathway to getting anything out of doing this? How? What avenue can Rose possibly take to try and build an audience? Be a VTuber and put on a voice changer. That's probably the best shot you got.
Knowing that you are not watching somebody who supports abuse. You are not watching somebody who supports rape. I completely understand why you all responded the way you did. And I was wrong. And I realized that if I would have said this a lot sooner, then people wouldn't have responded the way that they did. So I'm sorry, Brad. I'm sorry, everybody. I feel like taking this time, being offline, focusing more on real life has done so much good for me. And I genuinely do think that I am in a much better place. So when I do go back to posting content, I just want you to feel confident that you're supporting somebody who
what the fuck is this?
Deserves to be supported. I am not owed your support, but I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I am someone that you can feel confident knowing has good morals and wants to do the right thing. And if I continue to make mistakes, I'll do my best to respond in a better, more healthy way.
Who is this even for? Like, who is this even aimed at, even? The people that hate you are going to continue to hate you, and this is going to make no difference. They're not going to watch your content anyway, okay? There's not many people watching you as it is. Like, who is this even for? Who is this aimed at?
2020.
I mean, to be fair, look, these videos actually got quite a lot of views. But that's because of the Brad Taste in Music shill, isn't it? No, I genuinely think... I mean, look, dude, this has got 380 views. I guess what's the goal? What is the goal of this? Like, I guess if it's not to make money out of this, fine, do it as a hobby, but... Anyway, there we go, guys. There's the Rose Mulet video. That was very boring. That was a very boring video, to be honest. That was a boring, pointless segment. I don't know.